Hello, we're going to look at another video today. Today's topic is going to be the factors of production. We've talked about this in probably, I think, both other slideshows, but I think it's important enough and it's key enough that we should take a little bit of a closer look at it. So today we're going to look at the factors of production, which we know by now is land, labor, and capital. So we're going to look at these, and then we're going to talk a little bit about them. So basically, the first one being land is that land is not just obviously the physical ground you're standing on, but it's all natural resources and raw materials used in the creation of products. So this would be uh, any natural resource that country has. So, for example, Alberta, one of our major sources of land is not actually the land itself, but it's our the oil sands or our oil and gas industry. So we would consider that land because that is the resources that naturally occur in Canada. So that is the first one. So land and natural resources are pretty much, for the most part, useless just sitting there. So you need to have something that actually processes it and turns it into something. So that leads us to our next factor of production, which is labor, which is the human effort, including technical and marketing expertise, which is involved in production. So once again, if land in Alberta is our oil sands, our labor is the oil and gas companies, everyone who works for them, the people who extract it, produce oil, and then eventually ship it, and everyone who works in that process can be seen as the labor, because without labor, land is not, I shouldn't say useless, but land is unused, and land does not make anything that you can make money off of. So labor is a very important part. And finally, once you have used once you have used labor to turn it into a product, you then can actually gain capital. So, and capital is the wages workers work for, and basically the money that people earn from selling things. So the wages for workers, as well as the machines, equipment, or tools that the money can buy. So what that means is it's sort of like a cyclical or sort of a cycle, is that land is turned into labor. Labor labor turns it into something that can be sold or bought, and then from that capital we pay the workers, and we also buy things the labor makes. So it's sort of all interconnected, and it's sort of cyclical, and that is what keeps all economies going. So in a market economy, entrepreneurs combine land, labor, and capital to make a profit. In a mixed economy, a combination of the government and private individuals decide how land and labor and capital should be used to provide for the maximum benefit of all citizens. So once again, we see the same thing, but it depends on who is involved in deciding what land, labor, and capital will make. So another example of this and just how this works is we can take a landscaping business. So the factors of production could be broken down as follows. So a land, which is the grass, mulch, dirt, and flowers used, the wood and metal used to make the tools. So all those things combine to be part of landscaping. The labor is the landscaper equipped with a specialized knowledge of how to landscape, along with all the tools, all of how to use all the tools. And then finally is the capital, the shovel, the rakes, the mowers, and the trucks that have been created from the land to work on the land, as well as the wages to pay the labor. So that is the end of the factors of production, which is, like I said before, is a very important part of all economies, because that's what economies do, is they use those factors of production to make money, to make materials, and to gain wealth and power. So once again, it just is all dependent on where you sit on the economic spectrum of who uses those and who demands what happens with those things, and who is control of the whole system. So that is good. So next time we'll take a look at we'll take a look at sort of the economic systems and more about capitalism. So hope you guys are having a good day. Thanks for listening.